Done with Tears of the Kingdom? Craving more dungeons, secrets, and epic sword fights? Then stop scrolling, because these are the top Zelda-like games on Nintendo Switch that'll blow your mind. We're talking open worlds you can glide across, temples full of puzzles, and bosses that hit just as hard as Ganon. From AAA giants to indie masterpieces, these games don't just copy Zelda, they channel its soul. If you missed that thrill of discovering a hidden cave, solving a puzzle with a brand new item, or unlocking a world-changing ability, this list is for you. So gear up, light your torches, and get ready to explore, because the adventure is far from over. If you're craving that Breath of the Wild feeling on the Switch, open world, climbing, gliding, and puzzle solving, Immortals Fenyx Rising is your mythological answer. Set in a vast, colorful world based on Greek mythology, you play as Fenyx, a mortal granted powers by the gods. From the start, you'll notice the similarities: stamina-based climbing, gliding with wings, slow-motion archery, and environmental puzzles scattered everywhere. It's like exploring Hyrule, but instead of bokoblins and hinoxes, you're facing off against harpies, cyclopes, and minotaurs. The world is split into regions dedicated to different gods, each with its own theme, puzzles, and vaults of Tartaros. Basically Greek versions of Zelda's shrines. These vaults test logic, timing, and platforming, and reward you with gear and upgrades. Combat is faster paced than Zelda, but still strategic. You mix light and heavy attacks, parry with a shield, launch enemies into the air, and use god powers, like lifting boulders telekinetically or smashing the ground with a massive hammer. The humor is refreshing too. Prometheus and Zeus narrate your journey, poking fun at Greek myths and your character along the way. It gives the whole story a whimsical fairy tale tone that fits right alongside Zelda's charm. You'll also collect gear, upgrade weapons, unlock skills, and tame mythical mounts, giving you that same sense of discovery and progression. If you want more Zelda, but with gods and monsters, Immortals Fenyx Rising absolutely delivers. Want classic Zelda on Switch? The Oceanhorn series is a heartfelt tribute to both the top-down and 3D Zelda eras, and it's surprisingly good. Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas, plays like a modern Link to the past, with its top-down camera, dungeon crawling, and puzzle solving. You explore islands by boat, battle monsters, and unlock new areas with items like bombs and arrows. It's simple but polished, and perfect for fans of old-school Zelda. Oceanhorn 2, Knights of the Lost Realm takes it up a notch, transitioning to a third-person 3D adventure inspired by Wind Waker and Skyward Sword. You've got sword combat, magic spells, a companion system, and dungeons with classic Zelda puzzle design, like pushing blocks, activating switches, and using the right item to move forward. The world of Gaia is colorful and filled with lore. There's exploration, treasure hunting, side quests, and gear upgrades, everything you'd expect from a Zelda-inspired world. While it doesn't reach Nintendo's level of polish, it's charming, easy to pick up, and packed with the Zelda DNA. Both games wear their Zelda influence proudly, and are must-plays for fans of Link's top-down and 3D adventures. If you took Zelda, cranked up the heavy metal, and added apocalyptic fire and brimstone, you'd get Darksiders. It's darker, louder, but still very Zelda at heart. It feels like what would happen if Link carried a massive sword and was one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. In the first game, you play as War, a fallen angel accused of starting the end times. As you explore the ruined Earth, you unlock new traversal items, like a hookshot-style chain, gauntlets for breaking walls, and even a Zelda-style boomerang. These items aren't just for combat, they're key to solving puzzles and accessing hidden areas. The level design is textbook Zelda, dungeons with thematic bosses, keys to collect, puzzles to solve, and secrets behind destructible walls. Combat is heavier than Zelda. Think more God of War than Twilight Princess, but the DNA is there. Darksiders II expands everything. The world is bigger and more open, the loot system is deeper, and you play as Death himself. You traverse large open zones with side quests, hidden dungeons, and traversal puzzles that rival anything in Skyward Sword. There's also wall running and platforming that feels incredibly fluid for a game this heavy. Despite its gritty tone, the formula is unmistakably Zelda-inspired. Explore dungeon, get item, defeat boss, unlock world. If you ever wish Twilight Princess had a darker edge, this is the answer. Darksiders is Zelda with attitude, and both entries are solid picks for Switch adventurers. If you love Zelda's sense of adventure and discovery but want deeper combat and story, VIII, Lacrimosa of Dana is the RPG you need. You play as Adol Kristin, a red-haired adventurer who washes ashore on a mysterious island. Your main goal? Explore, survive, and build a community with other castaways. But there's much more beneath the surface. The Zelda DNA shows up early. The island is open, packed with secret areas, caves, treasure, and puzzles that require backtracking once you unlock new traversal skills, like double jumping or breaking cracked walls. You'll explore beaches, ruins, forests, and ancient temples that feel like dungeons, each with their own bosses and environmental mechanics. Combat is fast and fluid, not turn-based. You can switch between characters on the fly, dodge, combo, and parry with perfect timing. It's like a mix between Hyrule Warriors and Twilight Princess, especially during epic boss battles and monster raids. There are even flash move mechanics, which slow time if you dodge perfectly, just like Zelda's Flurry Rush. You also rescue NPCs, upgrade your camp, and uncover side quests that slowly shape the island and your progress. The story dives into dreams, ancient civilizations, and world-altering choices. Plus, the soundtrack is absolutely legendary. It has that adventurous, emotional tone fans of Zelda will instantly vibe with. VIII combines Zelda's heart with deep RPG mechanics, and it's one of the most overlooked adventures on the Switch. The Swords of Ditto is what happens when you mix Zelda, Saturday morning cartoons, and a roguelite time loop. At first glance, it looks like a colorful top-down action game, and that's true. But underneath the cutesy art is a smart and surprisingly deep Zelda-inspired adventure. You play as the chosen hero, wielding the magical Sword of Ditto to stop the evil witch Mormo. But here's the twist. When you die, a new hero is born 100 years later, and your past successes, or failures, shape the next run. The overworld is procedurally generated each time, but the formula is familiar. Explore a whimsical land, fight monsters, unlock dungeons, solve puzzles with items like bows, bombs, and giant vinyl records used as shields or weapons. It's playful, but deeply rooted in Zelda's dungeon-crawling style. Each dungeon has unique layouts, traps, mini-bosses, and puzzles that require gear, just like Zelda temples. You'll find stickers, power-ups, coins, scrolls, and collectible relics that boost your stats. Co-op is also a blast. You and a friend can team up like old-school Four Swords, clearing dungeons together and reviving each other mid-run. The time loop system adds a roguelite twist, but it doesn't punish you harshly. Every loop adds lore and progress. Swords of Ditto is lighthearted but layered, perfect for Zelda fans who enjoy quirky humor and replayable dungeons. Hyper Light Drifter is like Zelda wrapped in neon, mysterious, emotional, and brutally beautiful. In this 2D, top-down action adventure, you play as a nameless drifter in a dying world. There's no dialogue, no voiceover. The entire story is told through symbols, visuals, and music. Sound familiar? That's because it captures the essence of old-school Zelda, exploration driven by curiosity. The overworld is massive, and the map is vague, encouraging you to wander, discover, and connect the pieces yourself. There are 4 major regions, with dungeon-like temples filled with deadly traps, puzzles, and bosses. You'll find hidden doors, locked gates, and warp points, all designed to be discovered without guidance. Combat is fast and tactical. You slash with a plasma blade, shoot energy guns, and use dash-based movement to avoid enemy attacks. Timing matters. Every encounter feels intense, more Zelda 2 than Ocarina of Time. There's also a strong emphasis on upgrades. You collect modules and currency to unlock new moves like dash chains, reflect counters, and area attacks, much like upgrading runes or Sheikah slate powers. The pixel art is stunning, and the haunting soundtrack amplifies every emotional beat, from lonely forests to tech-ruined cities. If you want Zelda's exploration and mystery with a darker, more minimalist tone, Hyperlight Drifter is unforgettable. Baldo looks like Studio Ghibli animated a Zelda game and plays like a classic dungeon-crawling adventure. With hand-drawn animation and whimsical world design, Baldo instantly feels like Ni no Kuni crossed with Wind Waker. You explore a large interconnected world filled with towns, temples, and NPCs who need your help. Like Zelda, progression is tied to puzzle solving and item use. You'll find bombs, keys, magic spells, and environmental tools that help you navigate dungeons. These dungeons are old school hard, with no hints, tight rooms, pressure plates, and traps that require real thinking and timing. The game doesn't hold your hand. You'll often have to remember paths, backtrack with new items, or try multiple approaches, just like figuring out Zelda temples without a walkthrough. The pacing is slower than modern games, but deliberate. Combat is minimalistic but solid. You swing your sword, dodge attacks, and use ranged spells or tools. Health is scarce, so you'll need to be careful, especially during boss fights, which echo Zelda's style of pattern recognition and item use. The writing is light, the music is charming, and the game world is dense with side quests, secrets, and visual storytelling. While it has some rough edges, its ambition and style more than make up for it. Baldo is a heartfelt tribute to classic Zelda, with art that feels like a playable Ghibli film. What if Link had to run a business between dungeons? Moonlighter flips the Zelda formula in the coolest way possible. In Moonlighter, you're not just a hero. You're a shopkeeper named Will who dreams of adventure. By day, you manage a quaint little item shop. By night, you descend into dangerous Zelda-style dungeons to fight monsters and gather loot. The dungeons are randomized each run, with traps, enemies, and secrets similar to classic Zelda games. You'll dodge, slash, and roll your way through increasingly difficult levels. Boss fights test your skills and your build. And just like Zelda, you get stronger with gear, potions, and new weapons you unlock as you go. But here's where it flips the formula. Everything you find, every monster tooth, enchanted orb, or broken sword, can be sold in your shop the next morning. You set prices, adjust for customer demand, and even reinvest your profits into upgrades for your town or weapons. There's also a satisfying loop. Dungeon, loot, sell, repeat, with progression that feels just as rewarding as finding a new heart container. You even unlock portals for fast travel, similar to warping in A Link to the Past. The game's pixel art and soundtrack are charming, and the risk-reward balance makes every trip into the dungeon feel tense, especially when your bag is full of expensive goods. If you love Zelda... What if Zelda, Dark Souls, and a lost instruction manual had a baby? That's Tunic, a masterpiece of mystery and discovery. In Tunic, you play as a tiny fox in a giant, silent world. From the very beginning, it feels like Link's Awakening. Top-down, colorful, but with secrets hiding around every corner. The game doesn't explain anything. Instead, you collect pieces of an in-game manual written in a fictional language. That's right, even learning the controls becomes part of the adventure. Exploration is where Tunic truly shines. Hidden paths wrap around every structure. You'll find shortcuts you didn't notice before, unlock new items like swords, shields, and bombs, and solve environmental puzzles that feel like they belong in a Zelda temple. Combat is deliberately tough. Think Breath of the Wild's harder shrines, mixed with Souls-like timing and stamina management. You dodge roll, parry, and take advantage of enemy weaknesses. Every fight matters. But what sets Tunic apart is its design philosophy. It doesn't handhold. You experiment, discover things on your own, and slowly piece together how the world works. That mystery, that joy of discovery, is exactly what made the original Zelda so magical. It's not just similar to Zelda. In many ways, it captures the feeling of Zelda better than anything since the NES days. Tunic is a love letter to Zelda fans who love exploring the unknown. A small fox, a big world, and endless secrets. Hob is one of the most atmospheric Zelda-likes you've never heard of. It's silent, beautiful, and rewards curious explorers. The world of Hob doesn't tell you what to do. You discover everything yourself. No dialogue, no HUD clutter, just pure immersion. Like classic Zelda, you solve puzzles, unlock shortcuts, and explore a magical, interconnected world. But here's what makes Hob stand out. The environment itself changes as you progress. Activating ancient machines reshapes the land, opening new areas or raising platforms that permanently alter the map. It's like solving a giant, living Rubik's Cube. Combat is simple but satisfying. You use a mechanical arm to strike, block, and grapple enemies. Think Wind Waker's timing-based fights with a mechanical twist. You'll also upgrade abilities to reach new zones, backtrack to uncover secrets, and repair broken machinery using energy orbs. The game's atmosphere is incredibly strong. It feels like walking through a forgotten civilization, with subtle hints of technology and nature blending together. If Breath of the Wild is about freedom, Hob is about mystery. You explore not just to beat the game, but to understand the world. If you love Zelda's environmental storytelling and puzzle-based exploration, Hob is a must-play hidden gem.